Hello and welcome! My name is Mike Wyant, and today I'm going to share how I started my service-based side gig, and I'm going to share some things that you could do to start your service-based side gig as well. Let's begin. So I'm going to split this video up into 4 sections. I'm going to talk about how to come up with an idea that works best for you, creating a service business MVP, which is a minimal viable product, and then testing your ideas. And then I'm going to talk about when you're going to start making some money, because that's really what everyone wants to know, and that's probably why you clicked on this video on how to start a service-based side gig in the first place. So quickly, I just want to explain what a service-based business is. I'm gonna make a video on this. It's probably gonna be put out at the same time, so I'm gonna link that down below. But the TLDR is if you're doing something for someone and they're paying you to do it. And I'm talking about a service here, a physical service, to be exact. So it's not an online service you're doing, but maybe mowing a lawn, walking a dog, washing a car, something like that. Something you do for someone, or eventually an employee will do for someone, and you or your business will be getting paid. All right, so let's get started on coming up with an idea that works really well for you. So if you're like me, which I really hope you're not like me, because I've got no creativity at all. I've got no creativity, no originality in this brain. I can find something that I think is cool, and I can think of ways to make it better or to improve upon it. Or I can find something that isn't in our area and do that, but I can't come up with an original idea to save my life. I have no clue why. That's not how I work. I'm super analytical, but that's okay. That doesn't mean there's no hope for us, all right? We can still start something. We just have to find the idea. So what I did to find my idea, going online, and I would do this since high school because I realized even back then that I'm hopeless and I've got no originality. So I'd go online and I'd do research on other towns, other cities, other states to see what they're doing and if they've got any new businesses up that are really cool and they're really starting to blossom into a proper business. And then I'd think, hey, would that work here? I mean, each city has its own people, own culture, own diversity. So if something works, say in Chicago, it may not work here in Denver or in Boulder, really, where I am. So it kind of depends, but if it does work over there, it's worth looking into to seeing, hey, could that work in my city too? So just to give you an example of the research I did, when I found out about these moving boxes, which is what I do right now, I've got a business called Simply Boxed. I'll link the website down below just so you can take a look at it. It's not like a sell or anything, but I mean, if you need to move, hey. I'll link it down below, you can take a look. So we have these moving boxes that we rent out. The way I came across it was actually, I was on Ford's website. I was just looking at Sprinter vans, or I guess cargo vans. I think Sprinter is technically Mercedes, but just cargo vans. I saw them popping up everywhere around town. And I was like, hey, if everyone has these, they're probably pretty cheap, and I'm sure I can think of something to do with one. So I was looking at the website, just kind of brainstorming things I could do with one of these vans, and I scrolled down to the bottom, and there was a video of people kind of showcasing their company and how they use these vans. Well, that's pretty useful, isn't it? So I'm looking at these videos, and one of the guys had these boxes, and I was like, that's super cool. It's really eco-friendly. It seems like it's a pretty low startup cost. So I looked into it. I looked into who was doing it in our area, and a couple people were, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. I really think I can compete with the other companies in our area. So from there, I needed to create my MVP. So there were a couple of businesses doing this, but they weren't that big. I wasn't sure if this was a proven business in Denver. So I didn't want to go all in on something that I wasn't quite sure would work. So what I did was go to Home Depot and I bought these Husky totes. And I went and I put these, I'll put a picture up of it, but I put these like Ziploc bags on the side to hold labels. I painted on the logo and everything. And then I had my minimum viable product, which, by the way, I should explain what MVP stands for, or what a minimal viable product is, because I think a lot of people hear about this in obviously a product industry. But if we're gonna go really into it, I'll just Google it for you here. On Google, or Wikipedia rather, it says, a minimum viable product is a version of a product with just enough features to be usable by early customers who can then provide feedback for future product development. You don't want to spend a lot of money on it. You want to get a lot of feedback by spending the least amount of money. my MVP, I could get these totes for like 15 bucks each. Like I said, I painted them up, so it was pretty cheap. It was kind of time consuming to paint these guys. Hindsight 2020, I probably should have just bought some stickers to throw on these guys, but I didn't think they would stick on that kind of tote material. I was wrong about that. So with my MVP done and created, it was time to start testing. And a lot of people will probably think family and friends are really good to test with. And there are a couple reasons that I'll mention why I didn't do family and friends to test these ideas. The main reason, to be honest, was because no one was moving. I didn't have any family or friends that were moving at the time, so I couldn't really test the product or service on them. So what I had to do was find other people in my area that were moving. So the first thing I did was create a website, and you don't necessarily have to do this. I wanted to do this because I wanted people to go to something to figure out what this was and really get some information on it first. But if you're mowing a lawn, if you're walking a dog, you could probably just go to Nextdoor or Craigslist, post something to your neighbors or in your area if you're on Craigslist, and get some feedback that way, or get some of your first customers that way, which I also did. I got my first customers on Nextdoor, but I fed them over to the website. Another thing you can do if you don't get any traction on Nextdoor or Craigslist is just go and put flyers in mailboxes. I know people don't like doing that, door hangers and everything. Put flyers up. It's marketing. Marketing pisses people off. That's just what's gonna happen. If you're in an area people don't want to be, boo-hoo, who cares? Someone calls you, don't put a door hanger up. I get it, it's obnoxious, it's annoying, but one guy might be pissed off and another guy might give you a call to come mow their lawn. So you gotta do it. If you're afraid of that type of rejection, there's a book that I recommend called Rejection Proof. I listened to it on Audible, I think twice actually now. It's such a good book. It's this guy who just did these random things, purposely trying to get rejected, and he just got over the fear of being rejected. He would go to people's houses and knock on their door and be like, hey, can I take a picture in your backyard? Can I jump on your trampoline? And he's like a 30-year-old guy doing this, so it's extra weird. But people were like, all right, sure. And he's like, wait, you're not saying no? Or if they did say no, he was like, okay, he didn't care anymore. So definitely check out Rejection Proof. Maybe I'll put a link to the Amazon book or something. But yeah, definitely check out Rejection Proof. It'll help you get over the fear of marketing and sales, really. So I had my website up and I was leading people to that website, but it definitely needed work. I started on Squarespace, I moved to Wix, but I think I'm gonna go to Webflow next. All of these website builders are really tailored around e-commerce or blogs. So a service-based business, you don't really have a good setup like other people might. I needed people to be able to go in, choose a package, choose a date, choose a time, and I needed a step-by-step process that isn't there. Now by the time this video comes out, it may or may not be up. It depends how early you see this video, but I'll have a step-by-step checkout process. That is a video I think I'm gonna create in the future, is how to create a really good service-based website, because right now all you're getting are e-commerce websites. There are ways you can use those, and there are ways to do bookings with Wix and stuff like that, but it's not how I need it for my service-based business. So one of the first things I learned when I was testing is that it does not matter at all how much research you've put into it. As soon as you start doing the work, you're gonna learn an exponential amount. You're kind of going like this. So here, let's start here. You know nothing. You do some research, and then you start working. It's boom, you learn a lot immediately. For me, it was deliveries and pickups, how many boxes they need. So it's something that you have to just do, and then you'll start to learn. And it could be embarrassing at first, you'll get some things that a customer says something and you're like, oh, that's a no-brainer, of course I should do that. But you're just thinking of so many things when you're trying to start your own business that it can just not be there. It's just somewhere out of your brain, and someone mentions it and you just can't have an ego about it, and you just tell them, oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm absolutely going to do that. One way I do sales and marketing is I go over to apartment complexes and I hand them little flyers, and one of the ladies there said, hey, you should have your own QR code on that. And I was like, I should have my own QR code. I don't know why I haven't done that before. So I immediately went home, I created a free QR code, and I decided to get stickers, and I put those on the flyers that I'll be handing out from now on, so people can just boom, scan that. And I didn't really use a QR code before, but now with everything going on at restaurants, they have those QR codes. So I'm starting to use them a bit more, and now I kind of understand them. Okay, so finally, what everyone probably wants to know: when am I going to make some money when I start my own service business? Well, it's kind of different. So you could get money pretty quickly, to be honest. It could take a while. It kind of depends how you're starting. If you're starting up with you and your own lawnmower, all you have to do is go find a customer and mow a lawn, and you're making some money. If you need to buy a lawnmower, you're gonna have to mow a couple lawns before you start seeing a profit. So it really depends how you're gonna start everything up. I personally like to test an idea before I really put some money into it. So if you have some money saved up and you have some money to test and you're willing to lose it, use it. But if you've got no money at all, maybe don't, max out a credit card or put any money on a credit card. Just to kind of test an idea. If you've got $1,000 in the bank, use a couple $100 to buy a lawnmower. Sure, you can do that. If you've got $100 in the bank, don't go buy a lawnmower, try something else. You can also get creative here. If you know someone who has a lawnmower, go borrow their lawnmower. Do some sales and marketing first, go hand some flyers out, and then when you get a call, hey, can you come mow my lawn, or can you come give me a quote or an estimate? Be okay, I'll be right there. You go do that, and then we're like, awesome, let's schedule my first lawn mowing. All right, cool, I'm gonna go borrow, or you can even rent a lawnmower from Home Depot. You can rent a lot of equipment. So if you need to rent a camera, rent a camera. I was almost gonna do that with this YouTube channel because I've got 2 cameras that are kind of old, and they weren't working out for me. I finally got this Sony to start working. The settings were so messed up, but that's not the point. The point was I looked into renting a camera for a week, just filming a lot of videos and then returning the camera and putting those out, and then maybe renting it again for a week, filming as much as I can and then returning it. So if you don't have equipment, that's okay. You can always get creative and test an idea with rented equipment. Okay, so we talked about starting an idea, creating an MVP, testing, and then when you're gonna make some money. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And this is kind of a broader overview of how to start a service-based business. I'm probably gonna make individual videos on each one of these, and we'll put that up a little bit later. But definitely subscribe, make sure to hit that bell notification. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below. You can also shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I'll put my little tag up here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. I am just starting putting these videos up on this channel. I'm trying to grow this channel to help people create service-based businesses and help the industry grow a little bit on YouTube, because I feel like people aren't posting these types of videos. So if you're into it, if you're into starting a service-based business, or if you have a service-based business and you're into getting some of these tips, definitely subscribe and like. It'll really help me grow this channel. So I will see you guys next time, and have a great day. Have a great day, guys. Later. Oh, man. Whatever. All right, let's go.